We just do filings. That's all we do. I know more than your average filings. I can help you. I can see things. I can give advice, but nothing's on record. And I'm certainly not a master at it.
Masterful Leaders for men building business, family, and self. Hosted by Shimshon Meir Frankel.
Tzvi Weiser. So you're basically a filer.
We're filers, but again, what we try to do is be the Uber filers. People like to talk to us. We know more than the average guy. We're talking. The big companies have their lawyers with them. We talk to people that don't necessarily do the right thing, don't know what they're doing. They're just, well, we work for big companies too, but they're not asking us advice. I give advice to first timers, people who have like built one step at a time and they got a shoddy structure and they don't really know what they're doing. Those are the people I help. Not because I'm an expert, but because I know, like they say, all you have to do is just know a little bit more than the guy that you're helping to be able to help him.
It reminds me of something my father taught me. I was showing. He taught me that teachers, they only know the material one day ahead of the students.
Right. Exactly. Well, good teachers, not so, but most teachers probably yes.
Tzvi, you advocate a powerful operational concept called the one neck rule, arguing that if nobody's neck is on the line, nobody owns the problem. For a real estate syndicator or founder looking to transition from a generic outsourced filing service to a high defense corporate asset, how do they institutionalize true accountability and build corporate structures that actually hold up under legal scrutiny?
So filings is at its base, it's a commodity service where you just file an entity and you put into cruise control or you do some of the technical work that has to be done every year. That is usually a recipe for disaster because that technical work is overlooked, and the filings themselves, people think it's much simpler than it is. What we do is we actually have people, we don't have clerks working with us. Typical filing company, especially a big one, has just clerks answering the phone. We have knowledgeable people that understand the ins and outs of each state filing. We have people that understand corporate structures and LLC structures, and we hold people's hand and we help them do it right. Now, it's a small thing, but it has to be done right. And unfortunately, too often, because it's a small thing, people don't do it right. And when you have a big building, like you say, when you build a big structure and you have just a cornerstone or any small piece, some screw that's missing, the whole thing could collapse for absolutely no reason other than you didn't think that that screw was very important. So that's where we stand out, I think. Everything we do right. Everything we do, we educate the client, and we make sure that our teeny little part of the entire equation is rock solid.
You're a real proponent from getting this right from the get-go.
Yeah, which is what I say. We're not, when you call somebody and you form an entity, that person is there for you. And there's never any excuses. We're five guys. Everybody knows us by name. And we all stand behind what we do. And if we don't do it right, it's on us. And we will make it right. And that's the difference.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are really like a family. People, how do
Really like
people
a
usually
family.
find you? How do these
Word of mouth.
early filers get to you?
Well, we have sales guys out there, and we're out there. LinkedIn, which is how you found me. And when you have a good service, the word travels. It's the type of thing you ask most people who their filings company is, and they can't even remember. When you work with NUCO, we're actually, I wouldn't say part of the team because I don't want to overstate our importance in the whole business, but they know that they use NUCO and they're very happy about
Okay. I'm sure you're being very humble.
Yeah, this is not something I built. This was built before me, and this is the ethic that I got plugged into, and this is the way we will operate.
Well, there's this the distinction that some people make today between entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs. Like everyone,
No.
even though you're working, right? You're just receiving a salary, but you're still a leader in your position. Nobody can take your job away from you if you if you show up 100% and do it right.
Absolutely. I think that is the spirit that everybody has. Everybody, like you said, has their neck in the game. Nobody clocks in and clocks out and doesn't care what happens. Everybody's very involved and fully invested in every work that they do.
And it warms my heart hearing that you're holding everyone's hand from the get-go. And then they'll remember you.
Yeah, I mean, we have clients that need to form an LLC, and if they know me, like for example, I was away last week, and one of the clients just had to form an LLC, and the client refused to form the LLC until he had a conversation with me. It didn't make a difference that it was a simple LLC. At the end, I convinced him it's okay to form the LLC. We'll take care of it, and we'll talk when I get back. But that's the relationship that we have with our clients.
You teach that a weak business structure doesn't show up when things are good. It shows up in court, making corporate protection your first line of defense. When we pivot to the household, a family structure operates under similar rules. A father's leadership and presence are rarely tested when life is smooth. They're tested during crisis, disputes, and heavy external pressure. How can a business operator, it's a business operator, how can someone in your situation apply that same level of defensive engineering and clear accountability to their home, ensuring their family structure is built to withstand long-term growth and unexpected scrutiny?
Well, families are a little bit more complicated because generally you get married in your early 20s, you raise kids, and you're not so smart, and you get smarter with age. So it's only after the kids are grown up that you actually are endowed with more experience, wisdom, and brains. And by that time, it's too late. So, we hope in business, when you go into a business, you understand the rules of the game. Obviously, you pick up experience along the way and you get smarter, but you have the basic ground rules. I think when people get married, they don't even have the basic ground rules. They haven't come to a marriage thinking how they're going to raise kids. And even if they do, their perception is totally off because it comes from some fantasy of, I'll do the opposite of what my parents did and then it will be great. In some situations, they like to emulate their parents. Everybody's different, but it comes from a place of usually not great wisdom and zero experience other than being the kid in the equation, which obviously sees things a lot different. So I would certainly not equate family to building businesses.
It's good to hear that because many people like to equate them, and others say no, they're completely different, completely separate. The tools, the skills that you use are also built, completely different. So it's nice to hear
Well, I
you
agree
say
that
that.
I agree that the skills are the same, but unfortunately, we're not in a position to employ them when we get married. So it's just different circumstances, not a different skill set.
Yeah. But it's still good to get married early, so everyone's stupid.
The world was designed that way, and God watches over all those poor kids with the young, inexperienced parents. Everybody's got their path, and that was their destiny.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing your wisdom, and we simply could not have done this episode of Masterful Leaders without you.
Thank you, Shimshon Meir. It was nice to be here. Nice meeting you, and nice talking to you.
Win at work, thrive at home, lead your life.
On Masterful Leaders, we believe true success is built across every part of life, not just business. If this episode added value to you, subscribe, share it with someone you care about, and join us next time as we continue building the full package.